Constantinople, the very name conjured images of power and splendor. Founded by Emperor Constantine in 330 AD, the city stood as a beacon of Christianity and a testament to Roman ingenuity. For over 1,000 years, its mighty walls had withstood countless sieges. Emperors had ruled from its golden palaces, their reigns intertwined with the ebb and flow of history. Constantinople was strategically positioned at the crossroads of Europe and Asia. This made it a vital hub for trade. Spices from the east, silks from China, and precious metals from Africa all flowed through its bustling markets. This strategic location wasn't just about wealth, it gave the city immense geopolitical power. But by the 15th century, a new threat emerged from the east. The Ottoman Empire, under the ascendant rule of Sultan Murad II, had expanded its reach across Asia Minor. Constantinople, a Christian stronghold within their expanding empire, represented both an obstacle and an irresistible prize. Mehmed II, later known as Mehmed the Conqueror, was no ordinary ruler. Ascending to the Ottoman throne at the tender age of 19, he inherited his father's ambition, the conquest of Constantinople. Mehmed was known for his keen intellect, his thirst for knowledge, and his unwavering determination. He spoke multiple languages, excelled in the art of war, and possessed a charisma that inspired his followers. From a young age, Mehmed was obsessed with the idea of capturing Constantinople. He studied its history, its defenses, and its weaknesses, committing every detail to memory. He believed that capturing the city was not just a strategic necessity, but his destiny, a feat that would cement his place in history. Mehmed II inherited a powerful army from his father, but he knew that conquering Constantinople would require more than brute force. It demanded meticulous planning, innovative tactics, and unwavering resolve. The young Sultan threw himself into the task, overseeing the construction of new weapons, the training of his troops, and the gathering of supplies. His ambition was boundless, his focus unwavering. The fate of Constantinople, and indeed the course of history, hung in the balance. The year was 1453. After months of preparation, Sultan Mehmed II led his vast army, numbering over 100,000 men, to the gates of Constantinople. The sight must have been terrifying. The Ottoman army stretched as far as the eye could see, a sea of banners and weaponry glinting under the spring sun. The citizens of Constantinople were outnumbered, but they were determined to resist. They knew that the fate of their city, their faith, and their very way of life rested on their shoulders. The city's defenders, though fewer in number, were no strangers to warfare. They were led by the courageous Emperor Constantine the last of the Roman emperors. The defenders manned the formidable Theodosian walls, a triple-layered series of fortifications that had stood for centuries. They had stockpiled supplies, repaired weak points in their defenses, and prepared for a lengthy siege. The stage was set for one of the most epic confrontations in history. One of the key factors in the Ottoman siege was their use of innovative weaponry, particularly the massive cannons forged by the Hungarian engineer Orban. These cannons, the likes of which the world had never seen, were capable of hurling enormous stone balls over vast distances. The largest of these cannons, nicknamed Basilica, was a true behemoth. It took over 60 oxen and hundreds of men just to transport it to the Ottoman lines. The roar of the cannons was deafening, and the impact of the stone balls was devastating. Walls crumbled, towers toppled, and the defenders of Constantinople trembled at the sheer destructive power unleashed upon them. For weeks, the cannons bombarded the city walls, day and night. The defenders, though courageous, were slowly being worn down. The walls, once thought impregnable, began to crumble under the relentless barrage. Mehmed's strategic use of artillery was turning the tide of the siege in his favor. Section 5. Through the walls, a city breached. Despite the ferocity of the Ottoman bombardment, the defenders of Constantinople fought back with incredible bravery and resourcefulness. They repaired their defenses each night using whatever materials they could salvage. They showered the attackers with arrows, Greek fire and boiling oil, repelling every attempt to scale the walls. But after weeks of relentless bombardment, a critical breach occurred in the outer walls near the St. Romanus Gate. The Ottomans poured through the gap, desperate to finally breach the city's defenses. The defenders, exhausted but undeterred, fought valiantly to hold back the tide. The battle raged throughout the day. The streets ran red with blood and the air was thick with the clash of steel, the cries of the wounded and the roar of the cannons. Despite their courage, the defenders were outnumbered and outmatched. The fall of Constantinople was now inevitable. Section 6. The Fall of Constantinople. On May 29, 1453, after 7 weeks of relentless siege warfare, the Ottoman army launched its final assault. The defenders, exhausted and depleted, fought with the courage of desperation, but they were no match for the overwhelming numbers of the Ottoman forces. The final assault began before dawn. Exploiting the breach at the St. Romanus Gate, wave after wave of Ottoman soldiers surged into the city. The defenders, outnumbered and outmaneuvered, fought bravely but were slowly pushed back. Emperor Constantine XI, refusing to abandon his city, died fighting alongside his men. A tragic hero defending his legacy to the very end, his death marked the end of the Byzantine Empire, a dynasty that had ruled for over 1,000 years. Section 7. A new era Constantinople becomes Istanbul. With the defenders vanquished and the emperor dead, the Ottoman army poured into Constantinople. They looted its riches, desecrated its churches, and enslaved its people. The city, once a symbol of Christian power, fell silent under the weight of conquest. Mehmed II, true to his word, entered the conquered city in triumph. He rode his horse to the Hagia Sophia, the magnificent cathedral that had been the heart of the Eastern Orthodox Church for centuries. He ordered it cleansed and converted into a mosque, a powerful symbol of Ottoman dominance and Islamic faith. Mehmed II, now known throughout the land as Fatih, the Conqueror, had achieved his lifelong ambition. Constantinople, renamed Istanbul, became the new capital of the Ottoman Empire, a vibrant center of Islamic culture and a testament to Mehmed's ambition and military genius. Section 8. The Aftershocks of Conquest. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves across Europe. It marked the end of the Byzantine Empire and dealt a significant blow to Christendom. The loss of this vital trade route forced European powers to seek alternative routes to the east, eventually leading to the Age of Exploration and the discovery of the New World. The Ottoman conquest also had a profound impact on the cultural landscape of the region. The influx of Ottoman Turks brought with them their language, their customs and their faith, forever changing the face of Constantinople. Yet Mehmed II, despite his ruthlessness in war, also proved to be a surprisingly tolerant ruler. He allowed those citizens who had survived the conquest to remain in the city, practicing their religions freely. He understood that a prosperous city needed the skills and knowledge of its people, regardless of their faith. Under his rule, Istanbul began its transformation into a melting pot of cultures and religions, a vibrant testament to the city's enduring allure. Section 9. A legacy etched in time. The fall of Constantinople in 1453 was a pivotal moment in world history. It marked the end of an era, the twilight of the Byzantine Empire, and the rise of the Ottoman Empire as a major power in the world. It was an event that reverberated across centuries, shaping the political, religious, and cultural landscape of Europe and the Middle East. But more than just the shift in power, the fall of Constantinople compels us to reflect on the cyclical nature of history. Empires rise and fall, cities change hands, and new chapters are written on the parchment of time. The story of Constantinople, in its grandeur and its fall, serves as a reminder of the impermanence of power and the enduring spirit of humanity. Even today, the legacy of 1453 continues to shape our world. In the geopolitical dynamics of the region, in the magnificent skyline of Istanbul, and in the echoes of history that whisper through the ages.